Welcome to my first YouTube tutorial. Today we are going to be going over how to take a VRChat avatar and turn it into something that we can use in Warudo. Before proceeding, be sure to reach out to the artist and make sure that you have streaming rights to the avatar that you're going to do this to. Sometimes they'll have it listed in their TOS, and sometimes you have to reach out to the artist direct. It really just depends, the case-by-case basis. So just be sure to do that before proceeding, because you can technically do this to any avatar that you have the Unity file for. So we just want to make sure that we're being ethical. Because I would like for this to be as time-proof as possible, I'm going to go through the steps that I would do in order to check to make sure that this is all still correct information. So the first thing that I would do is I would go to your local search engine, and I would look up what the current Warudo SDK requires. And you can do that just by Googling Warudo SDK, and then usually the first option will be what we need. And when we pull up the page, this is what we're going to be looking for, this right here. First, make sure you have installed Unity 2021.3.18F1, and it actually gives you a convenient link to click on, so we're going to click it. It's going to take us to the Unity homepage. We're going to go to download, and then obviously you're going to download for whichever system. I'm going to do Windows that I have, and then it'll bring up this window here. You're going to click save. Since I already have it saved and downloaded on my computer, I'm not going to go through the download process, but you're going to download it to your local machine wherever you'd like it. Make sure that you can find it, and then after that's all installed, or while that's installing, we can go ahead and grab this file here, the Warudo SDK itself. We're going to need that for once Unity's all done installing. I'm going to go ahead and click it and install it. As you can see here, I've already installed it a couple of times. I will do it once more. Okay. And then once it's all done installing, go ahead and minimize everything. We're going to bring up our file explorer. The next step we're going to want to do is create a folder wherever you want the Unity folder project to be. I have a specified location just to keep things organized, but it's all up to personal preference. I'm gonna go ahead and name this tutorial, and then after we've created that folder, we are going to go back to the downloads folder. We're going to extract files, and then we're going to extract the files into the new folder we just created. So what you can do is double click on your folder you just created, come up to the top here, Control C, and then come over back here to your file extractor. Make sure everything's selected, Control V, and it'll type in file location for you. Press enter, and then it'll extract everything into this folder here, in the folder we created. Ta-da! So what we are going to do next is we are actually going to install Unity. What we installed before was just like a central location to keep all of the Unity versions organized. I will provide this website link in the description of the YouTube video. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down until we find the version that the Warudo SDK said that we needed. So currently we need the 2021.3.8 version, and we're going to click the Unity Hub button. It'll open up a little pop-up for your browser telling you that it's going to be using a third-party application or sending data over there. Select yes if you would like to do it that way. There's also the Windows download if you more prefer. I like the Unity Hub just because it's nice and neat. Once Unity is all done installing the correct version, you're going to want to do is you're going to go to Add in the upper right hand corner here. Add. You're going to select Add, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the folder we created earlier that we exported the files to. So for me, it's tutorial. For you, it's whatever you put there. We're going to click Open, and then obviously I'm going to time skip for whenever this is done. Warudo does allow you to use Piomi shader. So you're going to want to make sure you go to Google or whatever you're more comfortable using, and you're going to look up Piomi, and then you can usually find their GitHub, and you can get them this way, or what I got was their Patreon shader. So here they have a nice tier system set out for you, but after you have your shaders that you'd like to use. Warudo does provide you some. I just, however, don't prefer them. But once you have your shaders, you are going to drag your Pyomi or whatever shader, you're going to drag it right into the Unity folder here, down in the assets, all import. And then while you're waiting for this to go ahead and finish, I recommend grabbing like a snack. After your shaders are done installing, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find the Unity package for your avatar. And then we're going to click and drag, and then we're going to click all, and then import. Depending on how complex your model is, this could take a while. After we import our Unity file with our avatar in it, we're going to go ahead and find our avatar. After we find our avatar, we're going to go ahead and click on the arrow here. It'll bring down the hierarchy. We're going to go through and delete all of the missing scripts. So if you put anything that has the caution sign here, you can do this before you import it. I always just do it afterwards. The VRC descriptor can also go. We're not going to use it. Keep the animator though. We're going to right click here in the box, create folder. We're going to name it avatar. And then what we're going to do, double click it. We're going to drag in this. We're going to create original prefab. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to make sure all of these, everything that you want to transfer over to the end result, we have to make sure that those are on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the hierarchy here, our avatar, and then we're going to go to the top, VRM. We're going to export VRM 0 point. Don't worry about this or this. Make T-pose, and we're going to name it, give it a title. I'm going to call this tutorial version 1 author. You're going to want to put the avatar's creator there and their tag. I always edit the permissions here. You don't have to. And then we go ahead and we export. Don't export it into your Unity folder. So the project that we're working on, we're going to export it to a different location. You're going to want to export it to a place where you know that you can find it. And then be sure to name it something that you can find as well. And then click save. Sometimes this can take a while. It all just depends on your system. After that has all exported, we're going to go ahead and right click, create folder. We're going to name this VRM, double click, and then we're going to find wherever we exported the VRM we just created, and we're going to drag it back into the Unity project, into that folder we just created. After the VRM is done installing back into the Unity file, we're going to go ahead and drag up with the hierarchy. As you can see, all of the shaders are all messed up. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go over here. All of the materials are listed here. We're going to go ahead and go between the materials folder for our VRChat avatar and this folder, and we're going to copy and paste all of the parameters. And do that in Pyomi by going to this upper right hand corner. There'll be 3 dots, drop down, copy material properties, go back to materials, and we're going to go find the material that it goes with. There it is. And then we're going to go drop down, pick Pyomi again, whatever version was the shader in the material before. We're going to paste it in. Sometimes it's finicky and it won't update immediately, but it will show what it should. After it's all updated and everything, you're going to go ahead and click lock in shader. That's the only thing about using Pyomi, is that they have to be locked in. And then you're just going to go ahead and do that for all of the material. I do want to mention during this process that if you have combined materials, they will combine when you make VRM. If you would like to use materials in order to make stuff disappear and reappear, just be mindful of that. After we've gone through and we've made sure that all of the materials are locked and they're exactly the way we want, we're going to go to the VRM folder back here, and then we're going to go to the blend shape, and then we're going to click on one of them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull down wherever your body or wherever your face blend shapes are. For me, it's on the body. And then we're going to go ahead and use the VRChat, which most models come with. We're going to use those blend shapes in order to make the blend shapes that we're going to use in Warudo. If you don't have all 52 blend shapes, like the AR kit, this tutorial is not going to show you how to do that. You can either commission an artist to do it, or you can do it yourself. There are plenty of YouTube tutorials on how to make blend shapes. It's just a really tedious task, so I prefer not to. Good. There are going to be blend shapes labeled like emotions, like angry. They're going to be listed here. So there's sorrow, fun, look up, look down, look left, look right, blink, blink left, blink right. So all of these are going to need to be assigned blend shape. So for the emotions, you're just going to want to go through the list here and find which ones you feel are appropriate for the emotion. You get to build them however way you want. If you're missing blend shapes to do the look down, look left, look right, look up, don't worry about that so much. And you want to make sure that you leave neutral alone. Alrighty, and now that we're all done with the blend shapes, the next step that we're going to do is we're going to click on our drop-down menu here in the hierarchy. We're going to go secondary, and then we're going to go ahead, and this is where you're going to add all of your spring bones. So that usually controls your your ears, hair, boob, anything that you want to like jiggle. The only way that I've found to work is if you put it all into one, sadly, because I've had multiple and for some reason it only takes the first one when I upload it to Warudo. Let's go ahead and do that. We do the VRM spring bones by coming to the root bones, and then however many you think you'll need, you can change this number later so it's not finite. And then you click here, drop down menu, you'll see all of these populate. And then you go to your armature here, and you just drop down and you just drag the bones that you would like to move over. And if you double click or anything, you can just come back to secondary. And if you don't want it to move, you can click this lock right here. And then while you're doing this, it won't go anywhere. And I think for this model, that's going to be it. I don't think I have anything on the hands that need to get. Alrighty, now that all the spring bones are on, we're going to right click and then we're going to apply prefab, whatever you named it. And then it'll like this pop-up will come up and you're going to click apply array. And then we are close to being done. Okay. After we're done applying all of the spring bones, we're going to close the hierarchy here. And then we're going to click on Warudo. We're going to click on new mod. We're going to name it whatever you want. I'm going to name mine Noobsor, and then we're going to click create mod. Okay, now that we've created the mod, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead to go to mod settings. This is all named and everything. Mod name, version, mod author, it really just depends on you. Mod asset directory, we're actually going to change that. Instead of going to the folder we just created, we're going to go back to assets, and then we're going to click the VRM folder that we created earlier. We're going to click select folder, and then this part we're actually going to need Warudo for. So we're going to go to mod export directory, and we actually want this to go to the Warudo character folder. So we're going to go to character, and then we're going to go to open character folder. We're going to go up to the top here. We're going to copy this address, and then we're going to close out of it, minimize Warudo, and then we're going to come back to Unity. We're going to paste the directory. We're going to press enter, and then we're going to select folder, and then we're going to close out of this, and we're going to open it again just to make sure everything stayed. Sometimes it gets rid of it for some reason. We're going to drag to model up to the hierarchy. We're going to click setup character, make sure that both of these are true. Setup selected object as character mod. We're going to click that. You should get this success message. Click OK. And then there should be a character here. We're going to close out of it. And then we're going to go back to mod settings. We're going to make sure everything's still correct. Close out of it. This should pop up for a second, and then we're going to go to Warudo, and then we're going to go to build mod. We're going to select save just in case something goes wrong. Alrighty, after it's done uploading, you should get this pop up here. It's your File Explorer. Minimize it, minimize Unity. We're going to come back to Warudo. We're going to do the basic setup. We're going to select the character that we just created, and look at that, she's all in there. We're going to click OK. We're going to recommend, and then you're obviously going to want to put the settings in that you need. Yes, import expressions, and then I want my background to be transparent. Okay, alrighty. And this is all set up now. Once you have the basic setup all set up, you're going to go to character. This is if you have the additional meshes. Like as you can see, she has too many objects on. So we're going to go down all the way down to meshes. And then this is where all of the meshes are going to be listed. So we're just going to turn the ones off that we don't need. Alrighty. And with that, we're all done. Congrats on your first Warudo avatar. If you found this tutorial helpful, if you could leave a like, or a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm. If you run into any issues while going through the tutorial, I'm available on Twitch on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., usually till about 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's also my Discord. I'll leave the link down in the description. And then there's also commenting. I will do my best to get back to all of the comments left on the video as best I can. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.